I want to go back to something that you said at the very beginning when you introduced yourself. You said, I started out in sales. I grew up in sales, but I was like the only salesperson that really wanted to research the customer. Tell me just a little bit about the need to operationalize the voice of the customer. And that was such a significant part of the growth engine itself. What did you mean by that?
I guess there's a lot of parts to unpack there. And maybe I could talk a little bit about one of my first projects within this role, which was a repositioning project where it was really important for me to understand what it was we're selling, which I do know because I've worked at our competitor before. So I do know exactly what we're selling, but to position us in a specific way. And in order to do that, you really need to understand the customer. You really need to understand someone's pain. You really need to understand the problem that you're trying to solve for somebody. When you're selling them something, why should I buy this? How is this going to help me? And I think there's this adage that it's either, saving money, making money, or saving time, right? That those are the three things. And you really need to go beyond that and really understand what it is that you're helping somebody with. And so during this exercise, we're talking to a lot of customers. Fortunately, we have Gong, so we have access to like a ton of call logs, but that's not perfect either. I think you get a lot more out of having really one-to-one qualitative interviews with people. So an exercise that we also did was they sent out emails to everyone asking to have conversations. And I ended up speaking to a number of lapsed accounts. So people that had decided not to work with us any longer, as well as people that had never decided to work with us to really understand why not? What could we have been doing differently? How do we solve this? So these things like getting in front of the customer and getting that early feedback are tantamount to be able for us to have the right content, the right messaging on our website, that right go-to-market motion that we need to have in order to increase our revenue and ultimately grow faster.